Could you imagine if we did an entire podcast and didn't have the record on?
I mean, at least we would have just gone back to how we did it before. We just wouldn't have any video.
Yeah. Well, holy ballsack.
Oh, hello, Cinema Peeps. Oh my god.
Hello, Cinema Peeps. Happy Tuesday.
Happy frickin' Tuesday. Holy lorsh.
Just slowly going insane, but really, what's new?
Right? I keep telling myself, I'm like, we're coming up to a year of it being the pandemic, so this is slowly slipping into the next ring of hell, you know, slowly slipping into insanity now.
Oh well, we gotta be strong somehow. By quoting famous person I know who just told me this 5 seconds ago, we're all in shitty times or something along those lines, but all our feelings are important. Did I nail it? I nailed it.
Yeah.
That famous person was Kendra, by the way.
Me.
I'm sure someone stole it from her, so I don't care if you post something that says someone else did. Don't believe you. It's all fake, motherfuckers. Let's get into it. WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Holy, I meant to rewatch it again, even though I had just watched it a couple days ago, just to rewatch it so I had my mind fresh for the podcast.
I know, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, should I just rewatch it again so it's fresh in my mind? And then I just started trying to remember everything. So hopefully we'll do together. Good. Yeah.
But I mean, hey, we got one big thing confirmed. It was Agnes. Agnes.
All along. Yep.
I don't know why. That song, and then just and I killed Sparky. Just
that was so funny.
But yeah, now we know that there's another big baddie, Miss Agnes.
Yes.
Who was in the theory videos, as the babysitter, I think, of the kids.
Yeah, Agatha Harkness. Yes.
Yeah. Yar.
Which is kind of neat.
Yes. Although it does throw a wrench in that maybe Quicksilver's not real.
Yes.
But I think it's still possible he could be real.
I mean, at this point, who knows what will happen. The world is their oyster.
Right. Well, especially because there's that scene where the agent, goes through the basement trapdoor. Or she doesn't go through, but she opens up the I call it a trapdoor, but that's not what it's called. But, when you have a little hatch, to go to the basement. And he's like, oh, you're a snooper, and just, shows up right behind her.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping he's still a real person, but maybe Agatha's the one who brought him from another multiverse. I'm still hoping, but who knows? Who
knows? Yes. And then Vision and Darcy are teaming up together to try and put pieces together.
Right. Although someone posted it today, I didn't realize it, but the strong man she punches, that was the guy who cuffed her to the car.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was the agent who cuffed her to the car. So they were like, justice. I was like,
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Right? Me neither, but that's the wonder of that show. I also just love the Modern Family style of this recording. I was being really hopeful too, because I remember what the picture they had of it. I was like, I'm getting some Modern Family vibes. I'm like, please.
It's funny because Claire, the actress who plays Claire on Modern Family, she posted on her Instagram. She's like, I guess either the day the episode came out or just somewhere around that day, it's been a year since they've wrapped Modern Family, or however many years since they've wrapped. Yeah. And she's like, it's been this long, and now they're paying homage to us on WandaVision. It's it's so cool. I thought that was kind of neat.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Dumpy's best family. Oh, man. But of course, once again, it just ends, and I was like,
I know, right? They get you just enough that you're like, and then it's you gotta wait till next week. You're like,
Mm-hmm. But I think there's only 2 episodes left.
Yeah, that's right. So at this point now, because when we first started watching WandaVision, we were saying that we don't think there's going to be a season 2, but now that we've seen, what are your thoughts? Do you think there's going to be a season 2? Or do you think they'll be able to wrap the whole story up by the end?
If they don't fucking answer some questions, then yeah, they're gonna.
Right?
Or they might do, because I didn't do any like Google research, but Captain Trouble Pants, or was it Captain Trouble? Captain Trouble Pants? Captain Trouble? Already forgot her name.
Lieutenant Trouble?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
she goes through the Wanda sphere. I guess she gained powers.
Yeah, she's now, what's her name? Or what's her Superman?
Yeah.
Superman. Superhero
What's her
name?
super name?
What's her super name?
And apparently that is part of the comics too. So,
Oh, okay.
So it's not like it's a made up hero, so.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think they should make a season 2 of WandaVision just because it's so unique.
Right.
It doesn't need it. But I could almost see, because I can't imagine the storyline with the agents are quite done yet with that program, with the sword program. So I'm wondering if they wrap up everything with WandaVision, but then maybe they kind of do like a, not quite season 2, but like a spiritual successor season 2 with the Captain and her new powers, maybe with sword. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
As much as
tricky.
I would love it, I don't think they should.
Yeah. Well, like, and even too, like, just based off of the film theory videos that you sent me, the amount of stuff that he's predicting is going to happen that goes with Wanda's storyline and stuff like that, it would be enough for a season 2, but at the same time, we've also been told that this is in connection with Doctor Strange. So how much of this is just going to lead into the next set of Marvel movies, right?
Correct,
Or are they going to leave season 1 as it is, give us a few Marvel movies, and then maybe a few years down the road, a season 2 of WandaVision will get released, and then it'll set up another storyline for something, and then they'll kind of, like, do that, maybe?
I would be semi-okay with that.
I'd be okay with that, too.
Yeah. Just, some more room to breathe and do other shows and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I definitely like the idea, if based off of, what I saw there, I like the idea of setting Wanda up to be the next big villain. Mm-hmm. Because with how we've talked about, like, creating villains and how good villains are made and stuff like that, this would be the perfect, like, story setup for her. Mm-hmm. We've seen the things that she's been through, the things she's experienced, and where her motivation comes from. So if, like, after all of this, and, like, he says in the theory, she forgets she has the kids, and all of that had happened, and then something later on down the line triggers that memory, and then she's just so full of, like, guilt and grief and stuff like that she kind of lets that consume her, and then she becomes the next big villain, which would be perfect. I think that makes an awesome villain.
Right.
And I'd be down to see that, and have all the Avengers and everybody else have to come to either try to bring her back or, defeat her or whatever.
Right. Which I'm wondering if that's what Agatha's doing right now, because that's kind of where we left off, is like she was doing some looked like the same kind of mind tricks that Wanda was doing to people before. So I'm wondering if that's what's happening right there. And I mean, on one hand, I think she would be a very good villain, but I was also like thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know. And this is my only reason would be is because the first time I really get to meet her character is in Age of Ultron, where she's a villain, where she kind of has a turnaround. And then again, she has brief stints in Civil War, and then a little bit in the other Marvel crossover films. And in all those, they try very hard to be like, no, you're a good person, and try to change her. So then to kind of double back on that, kind of sucky. But if they could do it well enough, I'm sure I will enjoy it. Because really, like, this is kind of the first property, I guess, in terms of Marvel that is just solely focused on her. And I guess Vision in a way. But, to learn more about her, so who knows. Maybe they'll do a twist or something where instead of her becoming a super baddie, she, overcomes it, Because what was it? There was I think it was the last episode where they had, like, the commercial for, like, the depression pills or whatever. Or, like, facing the truth or whatever. And that seems to be, like, a really big theme.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire show. So I am curious if that's what the ending is going to be, is that she has to confront the fact that, her brother's dead, Vision is gone, and that the kids aren't real.
Yeah.
Because again, if we're thinking this happens just before, oh god, all the movies, there's too many movies, Endgame, right? So she still comes back and helps the Avengers defeat Thanos. Right, because everyone reappears, and then this dome is showed up. So it's only like a couple days. So.
But they definitely, they confirmed that this happened after Endgame.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because in the I can't remember if it was episode 4, whatever episode we're introduced to Lieutenant Trouble. I can't remember her name, but that character. I should remember her name. But she, Monica Rambeau, that's her name.
Yes.
When we're first introduced to her, she wakes up in the hospital, and I don't know if you noticed, but she was rematerialized, and then when she was back in the hospital, like, they were basically trying to say, like, that was what happened. Everybody, like, Tony Stark snapped his fingers, and the rest of the population came back, and everybody was just kind of, you know, in chaos there, trying to figure out what happened. So that was their indication that this has happened after Endgame.
And so Wanda already helped them defeat Thanos.
Yeah, so she had helped, and then in all of that, because you see her, like, I think they talked about it in film theory, too, like, you see her at Tony Stark's funeral, standing there with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and people were saying that was a possible, like, Easter egg hint of, like, those are the 2 new shows that are coming up next, or whatever. But then, so I'm assuming after that was when, you know, all of the grief and guilt started to set in, and then she went and stole Vision's body, and, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, which they were still talking about how they were trying to still use his body as a weapon.
Yeah.
So, still lots of more things to be answered, so.
Yes, lots of more unfolding of answers and questions.
I'm still excited, so keep doing what you're doing, WandaVision. I like it. I did start watching the first episode of Clarice that just came out.
Oh, is it out now? Nice. How's that?
I think episode 2 also just came out. I think it airs Thursdays, if I remember correctly. I think it's really good so far, but mostly just because, like, the feel of it is so, like, it feels like a cinematic movie. But you're like, oh, right, it's a TV show. And that's, like, not a bad thing. I think that's fantastic. But I'm not as engrossed with the Silence of the Lamb lore as maybe I should be. Maybe. I think I only watched the first movie, and that was it. And that was many moons ago.
Yes.
So, like, I don't remember every exact detail. And I'm not sure if this is actually following the books or not, or if it's kind of a spin-off of it. But basically it happens, like, at least the TV show is set a year after the first movie. So it's Clarice trying to move on with her life. I don't want to say anything, because I don't want to spoil anything if people want to watch it, or if you want to watch it. But, like, I don't know how to put this at all, but I like the ideas they're doing with it right now, if that makes sense. I like where they're going so far, because it's her struggling with the fact that, quick refresher if anyone, because again, it's been a while since I've watched the movie, but she technically was, like, a junior, like, she was, like, a new person at the FBI with, like, very minimal training, and she caught her first serial killer.
Yeah.
So it's her, and, like, how the way her colleagues treat her, and the fact that they're like, oh, well, you caught this, like, oh, you think you're better than us with all our X years of experience? And on top of that, you know, being a woman and being mistreated and stuff like that, so. Mistreat is a bit heavy-handed of a word, but it's her being forced to deal with all these things that she's been putting off for a year. But I think it's shot fantastically well. I think the actress does a really good job. Kudos.
Nice.
And I think the show does a really good job, because there's a couple scenes where I'm like, oh shit, is that from the movie, or did they just reshoot that? Because I have to go back and check.
Oh,
like,
cool.
I think it's that, like, they do a really good job. So far, I think, in my mind, they're staying pretty faithful, but again, I haven't watched the movie in a hell of a long time, and I didn't watch any of the other sequels. But I like it. There's a mystery, so if there's a good mystery, I will always subscribe to it.
Nice.
Oh, you don't watch Nancy Drew, do you?
No, I tried watching it, and then I just never got around to continuing it.
All right, well, can you finish, please? I'm just kidding. Can you just finish, please? Thank you. What was my thought? Okay, sorry. So Nancy Drew last week had their kind of official season 1 ending. Because of the pandemic, they got their season cut short. And so I know they were talking about with season 2 is they were just going to continue right where they left off. And just finish filling up those episodes. So the vibe I definitely got from this last episode was definitely clearly the season finale of it.
Okay.
And so, but of course, instead of being like, oh, we gotta wait, a year before season 2, it's like, nah, right into it, baby.
Nice.
But, they do this, because I think it was the main actress who plays Nancy had posted a photo. It's not really a spoiler, but they're dealing with, like, this, like, sea witch ghost, basically.
Okay.
And they're battling her. And, the actress was commenting how such a good job the special effects department did for the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, they actually did do a really good job.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure, again, I don't know for sure, so do not quote me, but I think they did stop motion animation with like a dummy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a couple pictures of the actors like sharing it, and they do kind of have like a full mock-up of it. Mm-hmm. Although I think a lot of times when you see it in the show, it is CG.
Mm.
But I think for the last moment, I think they did do stop motion. But it was, like, really well done because they had this, even though it started to bug me after a while, they had this flashing light in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, all the lights in the diner go out. And so, but, like, the way the creature moves is so well. But I think that's partly because there's this light that's flashing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, really well done. And I'm pretty sure, like, I'd have to, like, go frame by frame. But I'm pretty sure it's an actual dummy.
Oh.
And they just kind of, like, did a lot of old school stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, kind of layered some CG on it. But it really did look like it was a real thing. And I feel like
cool.
a big play of it was because there was this flashing light. So it kind of played with that a lot.
Well,
and it looked really good.
I have been meaning to, like, continue watching Nancy Drew again. So I think I will. It's on Netflix, right?
Do it.
I think it was.
I don't remember seeing it on there.
That or Crave. I might be able to find it on Crave.
It's probably on Crave, if anything.
But yeah, because right now I'm in the midst of I'm almost ready to start Legends because if I'm gonna do Legends, I gotta do it right. I gotta start from Arrow. So I've been rewatching Arrow, and then I'm one more season away from like starting Legends. So I'm gonna do that. I'll watch Legends and Nancy Drew. That's going to be on my watch list next.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I really want to rewatch Legends because I miss it so much.
Yeah, right? See, that's literally all I've been doing. I'm like, man, I miss Arrow, I miss Flash, I miss fucking Supernatural, Smallville, Chuck, like all those, Dexter. I'm like, I just got to rewatch all these shows. Just, gain more appreciation for them because I love them so much.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to do an on and off thing. So, as I talked about now for 2 podcasts straight, I am rewatching Glee. I'm on season 3 now.
Oh, Glee! Yeah, I'm watching Glee too.
Right? We were like Snapchatting. It was great.
Yeah.
But I think after that, I'm gonna try to watch a brand new show I haven't watched before.
Good call.
And I'm thinking I'm gonna do a whole 180, and maybe I'll watch The Boys. Like something that's dramatically different.
Yeah.
Because I feel that's usually what happens with me, is like I'll be in that one mindset where I'm just like, yeah, and then I'm like, feed me darkness.
That's bad. Even though Arrow's really not that dark, it is such a contrast from watching Glee, because right now that's what I'm doing. Right? Is like one night I'll watch Arrow, the other night I'll watch Glee, and then I'll back and forth. But yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's hard for me to do that. Because I'll usually just get engrossed in one thing, and then that's all I want to consume.
Right? I know.
So I feel like when I started watching Arrow, that's all I'd want to watch. And just put it in my body and be like, please,
It's Arrow. Like, you gotta start doing it as if it's, like, being aired on TV. So it's like, Monday night is Arrow night, Tuesday night is Glee night, Wednesday night is The Boys, Thursday's Nancy Drew, like...
Right? On top of playing video games, Kendra, like, I got a busy schedule.
Right?
I mean, yeah, I also do work, too, maybe. No. But yeah, because that's what I was thinking is doing. I'll do that, and then maybe I'll go back and rewatch a show that I've watched before.
Dexter.
So freaking good. And that's the problem. I was even thinking about it today again, too, is that there's so much content in the world.
Yes.
Whether it be video games, movies, TV shows, books, whatever you're into, there's so much.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love, like, playing new games, they don't always have to, or, sorry, either if it's new games, movies, TV shows, whatever, it doesn't always have to be, like, the newest thing, but, like, something that's always been on my watch list that I've been meaning to watch. But then there's always times where I'm like, fuck, I want to go back and watch this or play this game.
Right.
You know, and I don't allow myself that time. Because I'm like, no, I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Gotta, what's new? What's hip? Well, not always what's new and what's hip, but like what's, I don't know, currently popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself someone who follows trends, but I feel as human beings, you just do.
Well, it's definitely become more and more increasingly a thing for people to they don't want to miss out on what everybody's talking about and stuff like that. In some regards, it's, yeah, sure, of course, but I look at someone like Kathy, for instance, you know,
name drop.
Name drop, yeah. Like, I was talking to her about Stranger Things, and she's like, yeah, I've never seen it. And I said, oh my god, like, it's a great show. I feel like you'd really enjoy it. She's like, yeah, unfortunately, the hype really, like, ruined it for me, so I just really have no interest in watching it. And I'm like, see, that pisses me off, because I get it, you know, everybody wants to praise everything, and if it's a really good show, you want people to see it, right? But we do have a lot of, you know, that attitude where it's like you hype up a show so much and then you get just so much like excitement and expectation for it that if it doesn't live up to your standards, you're just kind of like, well, there goes a few days of my life I'll never get back or whatever, right? Just because everybody's like, you can't miss out on it, you have to watch it.
And that's gonna be, I think that was gonna be my other argument about that, is that you don't want to be left behind, right?
Yeah.
I blame Game of Thrones. I don't feel there is...
Literally, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, fucking Breaking Bad, all of those shows started that shit.
Right? Because, yeah, it's... And I mean, it's hard, especially because on the internet, and again, when I was like, oh, there's those theory videos about... Like, there's so many people's videos of dissecting things and being like, oh, here are the Easter eggs, here's what's great about this episode and whatnot. And you just want to be part of the train. You know, you want to feel included. You know? And I think a lot of times, even if you don't want to, it's like you want to be part of that conversation. But then maybe you get to that point where it's like, fuck, it's already like maybe I'm 3 seasons behind. It's like, can I even, like, is it worth even catching up? You know? And it's hard. And I've also seen, like, some people online where they're like, I want a show recommendation, but I want, like, it to be done or something. Like, they're like, don't recommend me something that's still airing or still working on episodes. I just want stuff that's done.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of sad, because I think you're closing yourself off.
Yeah.
To a lot of content.
Well, it's like,
are you
wanting to do that because you want to binge watch all of it and you just want to feel fulfilled by the end? Or, because, like, there's something to be said about how TV shows have always done it before streaming services came. It was like, you had that, like, excitement and something to look forward to next week, and you had that whole week to, like, kind of, you know, make your own assumptions and predictions on what was going to happen. Like, that was the best thing about Walking Dead, when the whole Negan thing happened, and it was like, you ended off the one season not knowing who he killed, and everybody was like, who is he? Who did he do? Like, and then finally it got to that point, and everybody was like, holy crap, like, you know?
Right. And I mean, some streaming services do sometimes do that. They do a thing where it's like, hey, 1 week this episode, you know, so you're right, like, the formula is still good. I was talking to one of my coworkers the one time, and he too had mentioned that, because he was watching The Boys, and that, yeah, like, every week it was just, like, something fun. It was like, because, like, him and his brother were watching it together, so then when they were done, they could talk about it. And again, I love binging too. As I just stated, I love binging Glee. But I like binging shows that I have watched before. Yeah. You know? And even shows, like, I haven't seen before. Like, I'll watch a couple episodes a day, but, like, I don't know. Like, when I'm watching Glee, I am just powering through it, because I'm like, I've seen this before. Like, I just want to experience it again. I'm not too worried about being caught up and everything. Like, oh, I need to... every little detail I need to tear apart. Like, oh, what does this mean? You know, I want to watch it again because I just fucking want to watch it again.
See, and me, like, I like binging shows, but I can only watch so many in a day because I'm not so much like nitpicking the details. It's just like for me, like I know some people will put a show on and then like do other things while they're watching it, and they can still kind of like gather what's going on and whatever. Me, I'm like I just want to sit down to appreciate the show and like you know, maybe see some things that you like. For Flash, for example, like I've rewatched that show like maybe 3 or 4 times, and every time I see something new that I missed before. Right. And I don't know, just that's what I love about being able to do that stuff, is just actually like sitting down, watching the show like without any distractions, and just kind of like appreciating all the hard work that was put into it, the story, everything. I'm a nerd that way.
You nerd. I think the only show I'll ever put on but actually do other things is like maybe CSI. Yeah. Because I'm like positive I've watched every episode 6 to 8 times at this point. So, like, I could be in the other fucking room and, like, it's still playing in my head. Yeah. Like, I know exactly all the beats, and then I'll come back and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't miss a single thing. Because I know it that fucking well.
Right, yeah. Alright, well, with that, Cinema Peeps, that's the end of our episode today. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we can bring a little bit of, you know, company or comfort, laughter, maybe some education to your lives today. Watch all the content, as we always say. Yeah, you could. I just learned something from you, so we can learn things.
Okay, I was just thinking, I was like...
Education.
Education. I guess on film stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, I know we're wrapping up, but I'm gonna send you another link. I watched it last night. It was the special effects of Harry Potter. Ooh. And they talk about how they do some of them, and some of them are pretty mind-boggling.
Okay, yeah.
Got some good ideas in the noggin. Ideas in the noggin.
All right, cool. All right, so stay tuned for next episode. And in the meantime, everybody have a happy Tuesday, and we'll see y'all next week.
Watch all the content, baby.
Heck yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Monkey.
Monkey. And...